I'm back. Like the 80s is whack, motherfuckers. Okay, so I know it's been a while. It's not like, you know, I contemplated stop doing this. It's not like I was, you know, we go through spurts. And to be honest with you, it's not like I was eating healthy or anything. I just really didn't know what to eat. And, you know, I don't have to explain this. I'm fine. Like, we're here. It's just been a long story. It's been a long story with this phone situation. I'm in the mix of changing carriers, and you know, if every bitch who worked at the phone store was like Flo from Progressive, or even the one bitch on those commercials for AT&T, life would be grand. But those bitches are not as shown. So today I'm trying a new Mexican place called El Tejado. I'll link it below. Supposedly they have good birria. I got birria, dinner, and a shrimp taco. I get wary about trying shrimp tacos from places because I don't know if it's fried like this one, and they skimped a little bit. I only got like 3 pieces of shrimp, but we gonna do the damn thing. We're not gonna complain today. What else? Things have been good. My birthday weekend was great. Oh look, shrimp taco. Okay. I mean, it's decent. I'm mostly just eating lettuce and tortilla, but it's good. So, what's new? What's exciting? Oh, I got a pineapple jarrito. I completely forgot. Thank God. In 3 bites, I finished all the shrimp. I love it when it's raining, y'all. Straight up. Word for my foodies, if you don't already know, you have to carry a bottle opener. It's just essential. Unless you're a real Mexican and you rip that shit from your teeth. But I wouldn't recommend that. And if you a real Mexican, you're gonna have limes in your glove compartment. But I also love guava jarrito, but that's so rare to come by. Pineapple's fuego. That means fire. I don't know if I ever told y'all this. I think I have. I never used to appreciate pineapple. And I don't know what it was, if I was just following the hype and I just really tried to like it. But I love it now. I'm like, what was I missing out on? Okay, let me just say this. I have yet to have phenomenal birria. I think it's better in LA. That means we have to go together. Birria, birria, you remind me of a Northwest Side Story. Oi, story. Oh, we got some limes. I was just thinking of how much of a different world it is that I'm living in, that we have dispensaries now. Like, I don't know what state y'all are in, but I'm in Chicago. I'm in Illinois. The city of Chicago. Illinois is a state. But, ooh, these beans look fire. I don't think they gave me utensils, though. Fuck me. Oh, I got one. What was I saying? And, y'all, we're blessed. And if you live in Illinois or wherever you live that they fucking have dispensaries, y'all are blessed. Because the shit that I had to put up with damn near when I started smoking, which was like, I don't know how long ago, was ridiculous. Okay? I don't know if you ever had to wait for a drug dealer, but I got DD stories, okay? And you know what? I realized that my ex was basically my drug dealer. Like, pretty much anyone I've dated was my drug dealer. Okay. I put the BIRRIA in my mouth because that's probably the best BIRRIA I've had. Woo! Oh, they only give you 2. They used to give you 3, bro. They pictured 3, and there's only 2 here. Bullshit. So we're gonna have a quick lunch. But really quick, I'll tell you the story. I don't know how many years. You know, the years are not even important. But it was recent. Probably back in like 2018, 2019. And I don't know what got into me to hit up my ex. This was a random ex that I dated on and off from like 17 to 19. And we sporadically remained in touch for a few years. But he had a baby mama, and I would highly suggest, maybe not like now in my age, but growing up, if you're a teenager, don't date anybody with a fucking baby mama. Okay, it's trouble. So, I don't know, one night, I was just like, hey, do you know where I can get some weed? He's like, yeah, I have some, but I'm going out for my sister's birthday. If you want, you can come through. And I was pretty cool with his sister. It had been like several years, you know? So I was like, alright, fuck, like, I don't want to be a dick. Like, I'll go to the birthday, like, just to get the weed. So, his sister turned out to be gay. We didn't know this when I was, like, younger, but later on, whatever, she brought her girlfriend. So we went to Boys Town. So, we went to Boys Town. We had a good night. Let me rewind. I drove to his house where he gave me the weed. No, he didn't give me the weed yet. Somehow, oh no. This is so fucked up. I drove to his house. He gave me the weed. I left the weed in the car. He drove to Boys Town, okay? So luckily I had my keys with me. I had everything. We went. We had a good time. I think there was like, I don't know if he was like trying to rekindle a romance or whatever, or he was butthurt from some shit in the past. But we were having a good time. And then towards the end of the night, one group of his friends wanted to go one way. I had gotten closest with them, and he wanted to go another way. Don't ask me why we split up, but we split up. And this was like 1 in the morning, okay? And even though the area is very up and coming, it's still very much dangerous at that time. So my phone, it was starting to die at this point. And, you know, we were planning to meet back up, and I had called this dude. This was all for weed. I had called this guy over and over again, never answered. Eventually, it just starts going straight to voicemail. And I knew at one point when I called, I was like, he's gonna turn his phone off. Or like say it died. And that's exactly what happened. Now, I'm just upset because my car is still at his crib, y'all. Like, he's the one that drove. So, my phone's dying. I'm walking back by myself. People are hooting and hollering at me. I'm like, oh, cool, whatever. I don't know how I ended up in an alley, like a dark alley, okay? And then I'm ordering an Uber or Lyft or whatever it was. My phone was at 9%. I think it was this one that I still have now. And my phone was at 9%. And you know how sometimes with iPhone or whatever phone you have, it'll die before it even gets to 1%? Right as I ordered the Uber, the phone died, okay? It's now 2 in the morning in Boys Town, in the middle of the night in Chicago. I'm trying not to panic. There's no one around. So, when I ordered the Uber, I didn't know where I was. I don't know what address I gave. But I'm like, this guy's not going to be able to find me. So, unbeknownst to me, he was, the Uber driver kept calling me. So, I see an exit towards the main street. And I go right in the corner of where I used to live. I used to live a few years back before this on the corner of Halstead and Roscoe, which is like the cornucopia of all the plethora of shit that happens. So I'm trying to remain calm, but obviously I'm freaking the fuck out. Like, how the fuck am I gonna get home right now? You know, or not even home. I needed to go get my car. I don't know what I was doing. I think I went home. No. I went back to his area where my car was. But as I stand on the corner of Halston and Roscoe, this angel fucking is walking towards me. Beautiful girl. I think she was French or something. She was just not from here. She had glasses. She was beautiful. She's walking towards me. Just so sweet. This girl's walking up to me. She stands right next to me. I don't know if she was waiting for the bus or what. Obviously, there's no bus. I don't know. This girl just came out of nowhere. And she stands right next to me. I think she was smoking a cigarette. And she can see I'm in distress. I'm thinking, like, what the fuck am I going to do? There was a 7-Eleven that was open that I was like, okay, maybe I can go buy a charger or whatever. So she just looks at me and she's like, are you okay? I'm like, no. This asshole, like, left me. I just ordered an Uber. He's not going to be able to find me. She's like, what kind of phone do you have? Like, an iPhone. She's like, hold on. This bitch pulls out a portable fucking charger. Okay? I've never had a friend. I've never even been around anybody that carries portable fucking chargers, okay? The second I slabbed my freaking phone on her charger, it immediately comes back up. It didn't even need time to recharge because it wasn't fully dead and it just died out of nowhere. So it just came right back up, which hardly ever happens. As soon as it comes back up, I call the Uber. I'm like, hey, I just ordered an Uber. I'm in an orange jumpsuit. I'm in the corner of Halstead and Roscoe, right next to this place. Guy comes, picks me up. I wanted to, like, I hugged her. I thanked her. I wanted to exchange info with her. I wanted to be her best friend forever, but I was practicing boundaries, and I always get close to people, and then they just, like, too soon, too fast, you know? I want to be like, hey, let's exchange numbers, let's hang out, but I just left it at where it was. I got in the car, and I literally blew her a kiss, and I was like, thank you so much. My happy ass went back to his crib where he was nowhere to be found. So I'm assuming that he hooked up with another girl. I don't know what the fuck he was doing, but he wasn't home. I don't know, but his car wasn't around. It was a weird situation. So I waited like another hour, and dude just left me. he just left me. And then the next day he was texting me, like, calling me crazy and that I'm toxic. And I'm like, what the fuck, bro? I just wanted some fucking weed. I didn't even really want to hang out with your ass. I was just fucking bored. I don't know. If we had dispensaries at that point, I would have never hung out with that person. So the next day, I drove home. The next day, he's talking shit. And I'm like, let me just... Oh, he had the weed still. I think the weed was in his car. It was something where I had to go back. I had to go back because he had the weed. He still never gave me the weed. I'm like, you know what? I should have just let him keep it. Like, looking back, I'm like, what the fuck was I doing? So I went back. I'm pissed. He hands me the weed. And you know what he says to me? Do you know what his last words ever to me in life were? I was so mad. He says, stay safe. Stay safe? I wanted to be like, you really cared about my safety last night, you know, fucking leaving me. Bro, somebody is watching out for me. That's what I'm saying. Like, when we talk about faith and God, like, that was the starting point of realizing, like, okay, people are watching out for me. My brother, my grandma, my grandpa, God, you know, my ancestors. Like, the coincidence of it all, like, that was the starting point for me. I had another instance like that happen to me in Florida when I went by myself to Florida. I mean, that's a whole other story for a different day. But that was the starting point of me, like, turning back to God. Like, that was, like, the specific story of, like, you can't tell me, like, that's a heavy fucking coincidence that my phone dies, I go to the corner waiting for my Uber, and some girl approaches me, is like, hey, here's a charger. Like, what the fuck? That's when I knew I was protected. I don't know what's gonna happen to me. I may die tomorrow. I might get murdered. I might get into a car crash. I might get cancer. Like, I don't know. But I can say that from what I've experienced thus far, I am fully, divinely protected by something, someone. The amount of panic, but I was still calm. Like, I knew I'd find my way somehow. But to be abandoned and left, like, I remember there were a few times where I, like, kind of wanted to go back, because, to be honest, he was really good in bed. But that was it. And I just will always remember that last night, and, like, it's God telling me, like, don't ever go back, because I'll deal with a lot of bullshit. I've dealt with a lot of disrespect in my life, but that was, like, I forgive him, but that was really fucked up. Like, he was trying to gaslight me the next day, like, trying to tell me just some fucked up ass shit he was saying. Like, you left. You know, there was, like, where, he didn't have no excuse. Like, you just blatantly left. We found a spot hero in an alley. So I went back to the alley to see if his car was there, and it wasn't. That's how I ended up in the alley. And then when I went back home when I went back to his house to get my car, he was nowhere around. I just wanted the weed. So I think my lucky stars nowadays that even though I don't have to deal with that anymore, even if there was no dispensaries, that I really don't have to deal with that anymore, because there are dispensaries. Stay safe. Thanks, I will. Without your help. Fucking prick. I don't know. His name was Manny, and all the Mannys that I've met have not been the best. And if your name is Manny, I'm sure you're cool because you're watching me, but I'll never date a Manny. Manny. Annie. Oh, and we're getting married at the end of this year. I know, you're like, why aren't you more excited? I'm like, because I just never thought that this would be me. Like, I'm happy that it's Jonathan Zach. Like, I've been in love with him since the 4th grade. But I'm not a planner. Like, I'm not going to have a big wedding. I'm not going to have anybody. Like, it's just going to be, like, 2 people, if that. My name's gonna be Lauren Zach. So we're excited. So yeah, fuck Manny. Adios. Hasta luego.